As you may be able to ascertain on this channel, I strive to be very precise and exacting in the content that I provide. I also segregate projects that I'm involved with, but today I'm going to break both of those rules, and for good reason. Like me, if you are subscribed to this channel, you either are interested in or currently involved within the digital asset space, namely Forsage. These are obviously exciting times for cryptocurrencies, as the world's fiat system and economic policies are driving people to alternative monetary mechanisms. In my opinion, Forsage is the best on-ramp into crypto for the average person that has never been exposed to the technology, especially with the Forsage Tron platform, as the transaction fees are literally just pennies, sometimes absolutely free when you're just transferring back and forth between wallets. So with just a couple dollars worth of Tron in a wallet, a person can learn how easy it is to create additional wallets and transfer funds back and forth and really get an idea and an understanding of how to transact with cryptocurrencies. That and the ability to crowdfund through the Forsage technology for any reason that you see fit makes Forsage a must-have in your crypto tool belt. But it's not the only project to be involved with, and that is the purpose of this very urgent video that's very time sensitive that I want to get out to you. On December 30th, 2020 of this year, in 10 days from when I'm recording this video, a new cryptocurrency is going to launch that is unlike any other cryptocurrency you've ever seen. Let's talk about the main features of this new ERC20 token. It is 100% decentralized, meaning full end-to-end automation via immutable smart contracts. It has ownerless liquidity, meaning that no one owns or controls any financial interest or access in the project. It has an infinite number of second layer protocols. These can be deployed on the ERC20 token in the DeFi space, things such as borrowing without need for a credit check or lend to earn interest. It is asset backed by Ethereum. This is very, very important, and it will become apparent why that's the case. But just think of the US dollar back in the early 70s, before it was taken off of the gold standard, being actually backed by gold, in essence being backed by another asset. This new ERC20 token actually has a price floor. Now this is extremely new in the crypto space. Most every single cryptocurrency out there can actually go to zero, minus the stable coins that are obviously pegged to $1 on purpose. But any of them that have actual appreciation price action capability can technically go to zero. And this new ERC20 token is also rewarding people for sharing it with others. It's called the WISE token. And I want you to really kind of understand something. It's one thing just to kind of, let's say, go through graphics like this, but it's another thing to really fully understand what I just said. So let's compare this new ERC20 token to Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin 100% decentralized, meaning full end-to-end automation? Well, technically it's not, because the majority of all Bitcoin is held either by individuals currently that are hodling it, but in circulation, it's all in centralized exchanges. Does it have ownerless liquidity? Meaning, does absolutely no one own or control any financial interest in the project? Well, yes, that's true. Satoshi Nakamoto is not receiving any financial benefit from this on an ongoing basis. There's no Bitcoin company. So yes, this is exactly why the WISE token used the Bitcoin model to make sure that no one had any access or admin keys, God mode, anything like that in order to get into this project once it's deployed. And it actually already has been deployed. Can Bitcoin have second layer protocols? Well, it's difficult. Ethereum obviously is extremely efficient with it. So we'll say no. Is Bitcoin asset backed? Again, the answer is no. In fact, if Bitcoin was backed by an asset, let's say it was originally backed by gold, then Bitcoin probably would be already worth several hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not over $1 million already. Because individuals that might have had their doubts about about Bitcoin early on could say, well, we're going to just transfer over and I'm just going to get gold for it. I'm going to sell it and be able to get that other asset that I feel far more comfortable with. Is there a price floor on Bitcoin? No. Bitcoin can go to zero. But also, wouldn't it be nice when you're sharing the cryptocurrency space with people to actually be financially rewarded just for sharing it with other people by getting some Bitcoin yourself just for doing so? What's happening with WISE is over the next 50 days, and we're currently at day 40, so there's only 10 days left. They are selling 250 million WISE tokens. People are using Ethereum in order to buy it. That Ethereum is actually going into a Uniswap, which is a decentralized exchange, and it's being sent to a burn address, which locks that liquidity into the pair. This is extremely, extremely important. This is what creates the Ethereum-backed cryptocurrency of the WISE token. This has never, ever been done before. Also, the price action of WISE itself in the pair can increase in value. So now let's think about this for a second. What if the Ethereum price increases by 50%? Well, that means that the price of the WISE token likewise increases by 50% because it's actually backed by Ethereum. And what happens if the price action of the WISE token itself 100x's based on this initial amount of liquidity that's coming in during this 50-day period and the amount of liquidity that will come in over the next 1 year? Could this token actually 100x or more over the next year? I'm about to show you how that's possible. So this is what it's going to potentially look like on Uniswap. Through this 50-day period, there will be somewhere in the neighborhood of 50,000 to 60,000 Ethereum that are going to be put into this pair. And that is going to be matched by 250 million WISE tokens. This is not the same WISE tokens that we are currently purchasing right now. That's a separate 250 million. So there's another 250 million that is getting paired with this in the Uniswap pair. In Uniswap, these two pairs must equal each other. This is through what's called a constant product formula, meaning that the supply of one times the supply of the other must always remain the same. But this is the 250 million that we are currently purchasing right now. And both of those are going to create the circulating supply. One other important point is this. We just paid 60,000 Ethereum, or whatever it ends up being, for 250 million WISE tokens. These additional 250 million WISE tokens that are going into this pair likewise have the exact same value because we just determined what the value was by contributing 60,000 Ethereum for this 250 million. So in essence, these two are actually equal in value, which means if this 250 million Ys and 60,000 Ethereum are equal, then 250 million Ys and 250 million Ys are equal. Thereby, 60,000 Ethereum and 250 million Ys on the Uniswap exchange are likewise equal. This is a simulator that I created to help solidify all of this in your mind and really help you fully understand the opportunity before all of us right now. And again, this is the reason for this urgent video. Currently, during this 50-day period, we are using Ethereum and we're purchasing WISE tokens, and we're going to send this Ethereum. We're projecting right now to be somewhere between $50 and $60 million worth of Ethereum. We're going to send that to Uniswap. Over the next year, the net positive liquidity that's going to come in, I'm just assuming that this is plus or minus about $1 million per day that's going to come in. Potentially could be a lot more, and here's why. If we go to the Uniswap website, we can see that there's almost $1.8 billion worth of liquidity. And in the past 24 hours, somewhat of a low day, $336 million was traded. So in essence, even in just one day, that could be the potential amount of all liquidity that comes in over the next year. So I want to just, again, give you some context in that number that I've provided to you, that it's not just some pie in the sky number. So going back to the simulator, that's what this is representing. And what happens is as the liquidity that comes in for the next year increases or decreases, you can see that this number up here, which is how many times we are multiplying our investment, it either goes up or it goes down depending on what that amount of liquidity after this initial 50-day launch period is. So even if it's less than, let's say it's 300 million, that still means that we're going to 36 times our investment, or 36x our investment. Now, before I continue, I guess I should obviously give a disclaimer. I'm going to recite numbers off of here, but again, these are just projections. This is just a simulator. This is not guaranteed in any way, shape, or form. This is also not financial advice. This is just a simulator that shows you how this financial ecosystem actually functions. What this market cap distribution also is telling us is that this is the initial 60 million in this 50-day period. And then we can see this additional amount here is what's coming in, this 300 million, over the next year. In this area here, it shows basically what your investment would be. If the current price of Ethereum is plus or minus about $650, and if we have just one Ethereum, and this is what happens with the actual liquidity that we put on day one and comes over the next year, then this is what the future value of just one Ethereum would be. With a $60 million initial launch price, that would put an average share price at 22 cents. Then, once we 36x'd our initial investment, that would put the share price at the end of the year at $7.85. Now, remember what I said. This WISE token is backed by Ethereum. So that means price action in Ethereum also affects the actual price that we're going to see happening in this WISE token. So let's say that the price of Ethereum goes up 50% or 100%. Well, now look what happens to our future value. It changes substantially. Again, this is very important to understand. Think about it this way. If you had Ethereum and you wanted to purchase Bitcoin with it, you would take that Ethereum and you would actually purchase that equal amount of Bitcoin, and you would now own Bitcoin. You would no longer own any Ethereum. What if 5 minutes after you did that, Ethereum doubled in price? Well, you would have missed out on those price gains because you have no correlation or no ownership in Ethereum anymore. That's not the case with this cryptocurrency. Let me help you understand just how important it is what I just said. Imagine that you have Ethereum and you want to purchase Bitcoin. As soon as you purchase Bitcoin, you no longer have Ethereum. Well, what if 5 minutes after you just sold your Ethereum for Bitcoin, you now own Bitcoin, Ethereum doubles in price? Well, you've completely missed out because you have no Ethereum in your possession. That's not the case in WISE. Since WISE is actually backed by Ethereum, the price action of Ethereum also affects the price of WISE. So this is one of a kind. This has never ever been done in the crypto space before. So you never lose your potential upside with WISE when you use Ethereum in order to buy it. Now currently we're involved in an incredible bull run, as you know. What if Ethereum goes up 200% from where it's at right now? Right? Or even maybe 300% over the next year. Certainly is possible, not out of the question. Many people have projected it to be far greater than that. Now look what happens with our one Ethereum, that again, we're not losing out on taking that one Ethereum and buying WISE and only possessing WISE. We actually are getting benefits of price action of both WISE based on increased price of the liquidity that's coming in and the actual external price action of Ethereum. Well, now all you need to do is take a look at where do you want to go? Do you want to put in 8, 10 Ethereum? This is a tremendous, tremendous upside potential that was really only rivaled initially by when Bitcoin was launched. People that were involved in Bitcoin in the very earliest of stages, for every $1 those individuals invested in Bitcoin is now worth over $24 million today with today's price. But WISE is mainly designed to be a staking coin, which provides interest. This was one of the main purposes and the main drivers for the actual token, or one of the use cases, if you will. So on this second tab, what I've done is I've created a general understanding of the additional amount that could be realized when you start staking. Staking is going to be anywhere between 10 and 30%. It's still completely up. There's a lot of factors that are involved, but conservative projections is that when you stake your coin, which those of you that aren't familiar with staking, it basically means that you take your WISE tokens, and when you stake them, those tokens are burned. And in return, you receive what are known as shares. And shares basically allow you to receive more and more WISE tokens at the end or maturity of your stake. In WISE, you can stake anywhere between 1 day and 14,330 days, which is 42 years. Most people are going to stake between 1 and 5 years. For every year that you stake, you get an additional 5%. But on average, they are conservatively projecting that you will earn between 10 and 30% per year by staking. So what this part of the simulator does is keeping all of the market capitalization exactly the same. And you can see that these numbers have moved forward onto this tab. But now what we do is we go anywhere from 10%, which would be kind of the low end. And now look what happens to the staking value. So we have the WISE projection based on the market capitalization. Then we have the increased Ethereum price action on top of that. And on top of that, then we have additional staking value between 10 and 30%. So you can see just how valuable this token actually is. Now, one more thing in relation to the simulator. The 1 year net positive liquidity of, let's say, plus or minus 300 million. I want to go back to the Uniswap site. Again, this is 1 day's worth of volume on a low day like today. But what's going to happen when we take $60 million worth of liquidity and we put it into Uniswap? Well, we're going to be somewhere in this neighborhood, listed on day 1. Now, what do you think the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people that trade in this almost $1.8 billion liquidity pool on Uniswap, what do you think is going to happen on day 1? Wise Ethereum pair is going to launch right in here. It's going to knock off several of these pairs, be somewhere maybe 7, 6, somewhere in this neighborhood potentially. People that have no idea what Wise is are going to now and trade on Uniswap in these pools all the time are going to instantaneously see it, that haven't seen it ever before and are going to want to know what Wise is. So going back to the simulator, this additional 300 million that's coming in, that allows us now at this point to 144x, not even adding in the cumulative ROI when we start adding in the interest on top of it. You can now start to see and hopefully understand the upside potential in Wise is absolutely incredible. So let's get you some Wise. Most of you, obviously in Forsage, already have a MetaMask wallet. Those of you that don't, you can come on to my channel here. You can scroll down to Getting Started with MetaMask. This is a 2-minute video that explains exactly how to get a MetaMask wallet installed on your browser. Then you're going to go to, and I will also put the link in the description of this video, to wiseanswered.com. This is a website that I put together to help explain a lot of other features of Wise. There's a bunch of frequently asked questions and a bunch of way to be able to still go ahead and contact me. And again, we're on day 40. But the main reason that you want to come to this website is to use one of these links, because you're going to get 10% more Wise tokens absolutely free. You must use a link in order to get the 10%, because if you go directly, and once you click on that, you'll go directly to the Wise website. What you'll do now is you will connect your MetaMask up here. As soon as you connect that, that goes ahead and sends a request, or go ahead and log in. Then this will turn to purple and it'll actually show your address, your Ethereum address right here as well. So that way that you'll know that you are connected. Then you're going to click on Reservation tab. And again, we're 40 days into a 50-day period, so all of these days are closed. But if you scroll down here to the next day, which is today, which is 40, you will see that what happens is that every single day, the average amount of Wise that is being distributed is 5 million. These are fixed supply days in green, and these are days that I recommend that you stay within. On days that are red, and we only have either green or red days, we had some orange days where there was a variance of the amount of Wise that would be allotted. This was through a provable oracle that would just select a number, and this is the supply of WISE that's being distributed, anywhere between 1 WISE token and 10 million, which made these red days extremely risky days to be involved with. So this is why I'm suggesting that you steer clear of those days and you only reserve on any of the remaining green days, because that is a fixed supply of WISE being distributed across the amount of Ethereum that comes in for that day. So the way to figure out how many WISE tokens you'll receive is simply take 5 million and divide it by the amount of Ethereum, and that'll tell you how many WISE tokens that you'll receive. Plus, again, make sure you use the link on WISE Answer to get 10% additional more WISE tokens, absolutely free. At the end of this process, on day 51, this will be on December 31st, all the WISE tokens that you will have then reserved will then, you're now going to claim them. They're going to get minted and put into your MetaMask wallet simply by claiming them right here. I apologize for the unscripted nature of this video, but hopefully you understand the time sensitivity that's involved here. But more importantly than that, the tremendous upside. I love Forsage and I love this Forsage community, and I know many of you will want to get into this project. This is a tremendous, tremendous project to be involved with. And just know that there are only about 5,500 people right now that even know about this before launch. So again, just equate it to you're being able to reserve Bitcoin before it's even launched. This is the opportunity that we have, and you see just the tremendous tokenomics that are involved in this WISE token. It's unlike anything I've ever seen, and I've been involved in the crypto space since 2015, and I've seen just about everything that there is out there. This is an incredible opportunity for you. I don't want you to miss out, which is again why I did just rolled the camera here, went unscripted, and I wanted to get this information out to you. So go get some WISE before December 30th, and we'll develop more content. I will direct you to where there will be more content on the WISE token moving forward into next year. We'll have a lot more videos that are going to help your WISE journey moving forward. Okay, thank you. I really appreciate your time. And it's really time for all of us to get WISE in the crypto space.